Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, March 20th, 2020. Hope everybody's healthy and well at your households there. Um, so this is our morning meeting, and I will talk about a little bit about what's going on in the math curriculum, so you have a general idea of how to work on your topics at home. Today I want you to work on being responsible, and what I mean by that is taking care of the messes that you make during the day while you're doing your learning and other fun things. By the day's end, kind of like by the end of the school day, maybe around 3:30, whenever you stop working, kind of to pick up and clean up after yourself for the day. That's what I'm doing here with my kids. It is pretty crazy. Definitely miss you guys a lot. So I'm going to read a few fun facts from Ultimate Weird But True 2, like I do at school. I've got the Weird But True book in there. All right, here we go. Leap of Faith. Fast facts. The jumper's name, Felix Baumgartner. Record-setting jump was 127,852 feet. Where? From the stratosphere to Earth. At what speed? 843.6 miles per hour, faster than a passenger jet. He's going up. Let's see. A giant helium balloon carried Baumgartner to his jumping off point. His helmet had built-in earphones and a microphone, so he could communicate with people on the ground. Without the special pressurized suit, Baumgartner's body fluids would begin to boil above 61,000 feet. The suit was modeled after those worn by pilots of high-altitude spy planes, and the stratosphere is the layer of the atmosphere between 6 and 30 miles above the Earth. 3, 2, 1, jump. I'm trying to show you some of the page here. 3, 2, 1, jump. How long does it take to fall 24 miles? For Fearless Felix, the entire descent took only 9 minutes. He went supersonic, dropping at 843.6 miles an hour, and became the first person to break the sound barrier in a free fall. Baumgartner's parachute opened as planned about 1.5 miles above the ground, and he landed safely in a desert in New Mexico, USA. This man broke the speed of sound in a free fall from 24 miles above Earth. Wow. How many people want to do that? Pretty crazy. All right, so that is definitely a cool, fun, weird but true fact. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the math that was being learned. I'm going to show you lesson 4 or 5, just a few examples, because hopefully after a few examples it won't take you too long to understand the concept, although in school we would have been spending what you kids know feels like forever on the topic. So let me just direct the camera down a little bit. Okay, they're talking about rounding to the nearest hundred, and there are these 3 book titles: Watership Down, Sounder, and The Secret Garden. Okay, and rounding to the nearest hundred. So right now we're at 494. What I like to do is make a number line for myself, and I start at the 100 it's at, 400, and the next 100 up. I'm trying to write upside down, which I usually can do, but everybody's got their technical difficulties. All right, that should be 500, very sloppily written, 5. And I like to plot the number from 4 to 500. This 494, where would that be? Is it closer to 400, which would, of course, as you know, start 400, 401, 402. And I always think about the middle point, that 450. That 50 is the middle point. Well, it's definitely past that middle point. It's 494. If you count up, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 500. It's so close to 500 that Watership Down rounds up to 500. And you would do the same thing for Sounder. You would put 100. Give yourself, at least mentally think about these. Give yourself a number line, or at least a line, and write the next 100 up. And 28 is that, think about that middle point of 50. 28 is before the 50, closer to the 100. And so this one actually rounds down to 100. And then the Secret Garden at 368. The 200s would be 300. Give yourself that line, stretch it out, the next 100 up, 400. Okay. Again, think about that middle point of the 50, and 68 is past that, so it is closer to the next 100 up. If you said it correctly, you got it, 400. Okay, and then toward the bottom of the page, it talks about reasonable answers. Okay, so reasonableness, we use rounding for that as well, or an estimate or a really, really good guess of what it's closest to. But using the number line idea or just your mental math ability, 604 is right there by 600, and 180 is past the 50 point, closer to 200. Okay. And if you do the subtraction, 600 minus 200 is 400. Now look at their answer of 586. I always like to round their answer to the nearest hundred. Their answer rounded to the nearest hundred is 600. So are these close? Are they like right on the money? No. So in this case, their answer is not reasonable to your rounded answer. And even when you round theirs, still not reasonable of an answer, not close enough at all. Okay, so there is lesson 4.5 in a very, very quick nutshell of thinking. I do want to suggest that you do a Google search for Odd Squad Meatball Mountain. It should pull you up a PBS Kids link to a video that is about 2 minutes long, but it's pretty funny, and it talks about rounding using the idea of spaghetti and meatballs, one of my most favorite dishes that my mom made way too much of when I was a little kid. All right, and I do want to tell a quick story because you guys know that I do like to go on tangents and tell stories once in a while during class. So the actual desk I'm working on is a kind of like a dresser. Okay, well, that sock is for wiping the dry erase board, but it's like a dresser, and it's more of a chest that my grandparents had that my mom gave to me when I moved out from the house. And what's pretty interesting is my grandfather, the grandparents who had this, he passed away when I was super little, so I really didn't get to know him. But he said a lot of funny things, did a lot of funny noises, and was just a really cool guy. But I noticed one day when I was wiping this down to use it, and this is a couple of years ago, that he must have used this top of this chest here to write his name on a document or a check or something like that, because I could see in cursive he wrote his name, and it's in the wood now. He pressed so hard that it went into the wood of this chest. And this thing's probably closer to 80, 90 years old, this chest, so it's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to end the video soon here. I'm not exactly sure how to end these videos. I don't ever make them. Oh, by the way, yes, the tie today is St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope your leprechauns were good to you. That is Taz with the coins falling above him. But can anybody guess what this Transformer from the 1980s will transform into? Well, let's see. I'm going to do my best, but take a look. Picture clue, picture clue. Let's see if I can transform him correctly back into his other state besides robot. All right. I'm not real great with puzzles, although I do like a puzzle, so let's see. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Robots in disguise. Okay, oh, the ladder's probably a good clue for some of you who weren't sure. Oh man, this might take a million years. Oh, there we go. Turn the head upside down. Okay. Ah, if you said fire truck, fire engine, you were correct. All right. I'm glad to get to talk to you guys today. Hope you're doing awesome, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned for another video on Monday. So we did lesson 4 or 5. So if you're already past that, slow down or not. It's up to you. But we'll talk about lesson 4, 6 on Monday. All right. Have a good weekend.